What if I told you that her deepest fear isn't what you think it is? It's not spiders. It's not being alone for one night. It's not even heartbreak. It's something way cutata, way deeper, way more real. Her biggest fear is that one day you'll stop seeing her the same way. You'll stop chasing her. You'll stop caring. And worse, you'll forget about her and move on, like she was never special at all. Let that sink in for a moment, because this is huge. Now here's where most men mess up. They don't understand this fear, so they try to protect her from it. How? By being available 24/7, by texting good morning every single day, by calling, chasing, proving, pleasing, thinking if I show her how much I care, she'll feel safe and love me more, right? Wrong. It sounds sweet, it sounds noble, but it's not what makes her feel emotionally alive. She doesn't want to feel like you need her. She wants to feel like you choose her, from a place of strength, from a life that's already full, with or without her. Here's the truth. Nobody told you. Chasing her doesn't make her feel chosen. It makes her feel smothered. Safe? Maybe, but excited, curious, obsessed? No. That comes from something else. That comes from the feeling that you could walk away. You're not trying to get her. You're not trying to win her approval. You're just calm, focused, grounded, happy, even in silence. And that silence, that peace, that absence of trying too hard, it scares her. In a way she secretly loves. When you stop chasing, when you stop trying to fill the space with messages, plans, and attention, she starts to feel that space. She feels the distance, the absence, the quiet, and it echoes. It makes her wonder, where is he? What's he doing? Is he thinking about me? And those questions create longing, not the kind you beg for, but the kind that grows quietly, like a spark in her chest. Now let me be clear. This isn't a game. This isn't manipulation. It's not pulling back just to make her miss you. It's something much deeper. It's you living your purpose. You building your world. You choosing presence over performance. You choosing peace over proving. You don't create longing by acting distant. You create it by actually being fulfilled, without needing her to complete you. And that is what triggers her biggest fear. That emotional abandonment, not because you're cruel, but because you're content, even without her. And that is what flips a switch in her heart. She starts chasing you, not for attention, but for connection. Because you feel rare, you feel different, you feel free, and that freedom is the most attractive thing in the world. It's magnetic, it's powerful, And it makes her want to be part of your life, not the center of it. So if you've ever felt like being too nice, too available, too eager, was pushing her away, now you know why. It's not because kindness is bad. It's because you were trying to win her. Instead of letting her feel the fear of losing you. Big difference. So, the more you're around, the less she feels you. This might sound strange at first, but the more you're always around her, the less she actually feels you. Wait, what? Isn't being close supposed to bring people closer? Nope. Not always. Here's what happens. When you're always there, always calling, always texting, always showing up, she doesn't notice you anymore. You become background noise. Familiar, predictable, safe, but not exciting, not magnetic, not unforgettable. You know what really shakes her up? When you're not always there. When your time isn't so easy to get. When she starts to wonder, why isn't he texting today? Why isn't he rushing to see me? What is he doing that's more important than me? And that little question, it plants something in her heart. Craving. She starts to crave your presence. Because you're not everywhere anymore. You've become like air. She doesn't notice it when it's always there. But when it's missing, even just a little, she gasps for it. She feels it. Here's the truth most men don't know. Presence becomes powerful when it's not constant. If you're always visible, you become invisible. If you're always available, you become replaceable. But if you disappear for a while, not out of anger, not to punish, but to live your life fully, she feels that space and she starts to reach for you. But listen closely. This is not about ghosting her. It's not about being cold or distant. It's about having a full, rich life outside of her. A life with goals. A life with quiet time. A life with things that feed your mind, your body, and your peace. Because when you're always trying to be near her, you lose something. Your mystery, your depth, your aura. Want to know something wild? Most men lose their power the moment they get the go, because they stop doing what made her attracted in the first place. They stop living. They stop building. They stop being rare. But the man who keeps living like his life is gold, whether she's watching or not. That man becomes unforgettable. She doesn't chase him because he's perfect. She chases him because he feels real, like a storm that moves slow but never begs the wind. Now ask yourself, when was the last time she missed you? When was the last time you gave her space to wonder, to feel your absence? Not because you were playing a game, but because you were on a mission. That's the key. When your presence isn't constant, it becomes precious. The stillness that shakes her core. What if I told you that not reacting is one of the loudest things you can do? That silence can scream louder than words. that your calmness, when she's trying to stir you up, is the very thing that makes her feel your power? Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. Most men crumble the moment she tests them. She raises her voice, and they panic. She pulls back a little, and they chase harder. She says something cold, and they try to fix it right away. That's the trap. Because what she's really testing is your center. You see, a woman doesn't always test you to hurt you. Sometimes she tests you to feel safe. To know, is this man strong inside? Can he hold himself together when things get shaky? Can he stay calm even when I'm emotional? And guess what? If you can, if you stay grounded, if you breathe deep, stay quiet, and don't take the bait, that's when she feels something rare. Trust. Now here's where it gets deep. When you react emotionally to everything she does, she doesn't feel like you're in control. And if you're not in control, she can't relax into her feminine energy. She starts to feel like she has to lead the emotional dance. And that kills attraction slowly. But when you lead with emotional calm, when your aura is cool, quiet, unshaken, she leans into it. She becomes softer around you, more playful, more feminine, because you've become the anchor. Now ask yourself, are you reacting or responding? Because reacting is fast, it's loud, it's messy. But responding, that's power, that's control, that's masculine stillness. The kind of stillness that makes her heart race. Not because you said something wild, but because you didn't say anything. You just were. And in that silence, she feels you. This doesn't mean you become a stone. It means you become a mountain, still, strong, grounded. You can feel emotions, of course, but you don't let them drive you. You let them pass. Because a man who can feel without falling apart, that man becomes rare. That man becomes irresistible. And here's the secret most guys never hear. The man who keeps his calm also keeps his power. And when a woman senses that you won't break yourself just to win her, she becomes the one who starts chasing you. Why? Because deep inside, that calmness makes her feel something she can't explain. Safe, wanted, and slightly afraid to lose you. When your time becomes her drug. Okay, let's play a game. Imagine if your time was like gold. No, not just something nice. I mean, rare, shiny, hard to get. Now imagine she knows that. She feels it. Every time she sees you, it's like opening a treasure chest. Not because you act mysterious, but because you don't give your time away like it's candy. See, most guys make a huge mistake. They're too available, texting all the time, calling every night, dropping their plans the second she says, "Hey." That doesn't make her feel special. It makes your time feel cheap. And when your time feels cheap, so do you. But when a man is busy with his purpose, his mission, his world, his time becomes something different. It becomes valuable, and that is what makes her crave it. Here's the secret. Time you give everyone means nothing, but time you give rarely, that becomes sacred. When you spend less time with her, not to punish her, not to pull back, but because you're chasing something bigger than her. She feels it. She wonders. Where is he? What's he doing? Why does it feel different when he's not here? And guess what? That space ... creates longing. That mystery creates desire. Women aren't addicted to you being around. They're addicted to your presence. And your presence becomes powerful when it's not always there. Think about it. The most expensive diamonds, you don't find them lying in the street. You've got to dig for them, search for them, work for them. And when she feels she has to earn your time, your words, your energy, that's when she starts giving you her best, her attention, her sweetness, her love, because she knows it's not guaranteed. It's not something she can take for granted. What happens when you don't chase? Okay, now here's where it gets crazy. Ready? What if the thing that makes her want you is the moment you don't chase her? Sounds backward, right? Because everybody says, if you like her, go after her. Don't let her slip away. But guess what? Most guys chase, and she runs faster. See, the moment she pulls away, even just a little, most men panic. They text more. They call more. They say stuff like, "Did I do something wrong?" Or worse, "I'll fix it, just tell me what to do." But all that does, it kills the attraction. Because chasing her when she's pulling away tells her something big. It tells her, you're afraid, you're needy. You don't believe you're enough unless she approves. And the truth is, that energy pushes her away even more. Now, listen close. What happens when you don't chase? What happens when you stay calm? Silent? Unmoved? That's when the magic starts. She begins to wonder. Wait, why isn't he chasing me? Why does he look so calm, like he's not even worried? Does he not need me? And boom, that little fear, that tiny voice in her mind, it starts to grow. She starts feeling something most people run from: emotional abandonment. But you're not doing it to hurt her. You're just not playing her game. You're staying strong, centered, rooted in your value. And that drives her wild. Here's a truth most men never learn. Chasing is fear. Stillness is power. When you don't chase, not because you're angry, but because you're secure. She feels your strength. You're not just a man anymore. You're a mystery. And mystery is magnetic. This doesn't mean you ignore her forever. It just means you don't react. You don't beg. You don't fight for someone who's testing your worth. You stay in control. You hold your frame. And that frame, that calm silence, it speaks louder than any love letter ever could, because it says, I'm not afraid of losing you, but you should be afraid of losing me. In a world full of men who chase, be the one who stops. Be the one who stays calm. Be the one who makes her wonder, why does it hurt more when he walks away? When you're gone, but still in her head? Let me ask you something crazy. What if you didn't have to be around her for her to think about you non-stop? What if your absence was louder than your words? Sounds wild, right? But it's real, and once you understand this power, she'll never forget you, even in silence. Here's what most guys don't get. When you're always around, always available, always trying to show her love, you become easy, predictable, ordinary, forgettable. But when you give her space, when you step back, not out of fear but confidence, you leave a gap, and that gap, her mind fills it with thoughts of you. She starts wondering, why isn't he texting today? Did he lose interest? Wait, did I mess this up? Is he talking to someone else? And right there, boom, that's when her mind locks in on you. Not because of what you said, not because of what you gave, but because of what you withheld. Not to play games, but to live your life, to stay grounded in your mission, to keep your peace while she loses hers. This is the secret of emotional imprinting. When a man is calm, rare, and present when he's with her, but strong enough to disappear without fear, she starts to miss the feeling. Not the texts, not the gifts, not even your face. She misses your energy, your calm, your mystery, your depth. That's the real hook inside her heart. So how do you do it? You live full. You stay busy with purpose. You stop waiting on a reply. And you start replying to your own life. Because a man who doesn't chase, a man who can walk away without falling apart, he's unforgettable. And that's when it happens. You could be sitting at a gym, out with your friends, working on your business, and somewhere she's lying in bed, phone in hand, staring at the screen, wondering why your name hasn't popped up. You didn't ghost her. You just kept living, and she can feel it. That's how you haunt her without saying a word. In the next stage, we'll reveal how women test your strength with silence, and how most men fail because they break first, but not you. You're about to flip the script forever. The dangerous power of doing nothing. What if I told you sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to do nothing? Not a single word, no long message, no explaining, no chasing, just stillness. Sounds strange, right? But here's the truth. Most men panic when things go quiet. They feel like they're losing her, like they have to fix it. But the rare man, the man she can't stop thinking about, he lets the silence work for him. Here's what you need to know. When a woman feels something is off, she doesn't always tell you. Instead, she goes quiet. She gets distant, cold, dry texts, weird vibes. And that's the moment most guys fail. They freak out. They ask, "Are you mad?" They send double texts. They call, explain, try harder. And that's the trap. Because now, she knows you're afraid of losing her. She sees your need, your fear, your emotional dependence. That's not attraction. That's pressure. But you're going to do the opposite. You're going to stay calm, still, focused, grounded. You don't need to chase her because you're not scared of being alone. You're not playing games. You're just busy building your life. She'll start to wonder, wait, why isn't he reacting? Why is he so calm? Is he losing interest? Did he figure out my test? And just like that, she's hooked again. This is the power of doing nothing with strength. Not out of laziness, but out of deep control, deep peace. When a woman sees you don't break under pressure, she sees a man with real power. And that, my friend, is rare. Because here's what no one tells you. Your silence can say everything. If it comes from a place of strength, she feels it, and she'll chase it. She'll try to reopen the door. She'll want to check in. She'll test your emotions again. But you'll know the truth now. She's not angry. She's curious. She's pulled in by your calm. That tone. The aura that speaks louder than words. Let me ask you something wild. Have you ever walked into a room and without saying a word, people just felt your energy? Like they turned to look at you, even if they didn't know why. That's not magic. That's AURA. And it's more powerful than words, gifts, or charm. It's the silent energy that wraps around you, like an invisible armor. And guess what? Women feel it, stronger than anything else. Here's the part most guys miss. A man's aura doesn't come from what he says. It comes from who he is. If you're full of anxiety, if your thoughts are messy, if your heart is chasing her all the time, she can feel it. Even if you smile and act cool, she knows. Your aura is off. But when you're focused, when your mind is peaceful, when your life has direction, that calm, silent, powerful energy, it hits her like a wave. She won't say it out loud, but she feels safe around it, drawn to it, even a little obsessed with it. Why? Because it's rare. Most men are loud, desperate, always trying to prove something. But you're just there. Solid, still, unshakable. And that's when her emotions start to wake up. She thinks about you when you're gone. She feels your energy in her chest. She starts to long for your presence, even if she didn't before. So here's your move. Stop trying to say the perfect words. Stop thinking you have to win her with charm. Forget the fake confidence. Instead, build your AURA slowly, quietly, from the inside out. Start with peace, add purpose, add stillness, and protect your energy like gold. Because when your inner world is calm, she can't stop watching. How to become the invisible force she can't ignore. Imagine this. There's a force around you, like gravity pulling everything close. But here's the secret. It's not about being loud or flashy. It's about being steady. When you learn to control your emotions, not hide them, not explode, but control them, you create something magnetic. Women don't want a man who breaks down at every problem. They want the one who stays calm, cool, and collected, even when the world around him is chaotic. This kind of calmness, it's like a secret power. It says, I'm strong inside. I don't need to prove myself. I'm enough, just as I am. And guess what happens? She notices. She feels it deep inside. You become the safe place she can't stop thinking about. Here's the twist nobody tells you. It's not about chasing her heart. It's about mastering your own. Because when you master your feelings, your presence becomes impossible to ignore. Your calm energy pulls her closer, even when you're far away. She wants to be near that peace, so don't run after her emotions. Build your emotional gravity. Stay steady. Stay strong. Be the man she secretly wishes she could hold on to forever. The last secret: how real confidence makes you unstoppable. Here's the big truth. Real confidence is not about what you wear. It's not about the car you drive. It's not even about what others say about you. Real confidence comes from one thing: knowing who you are and liking it, no matter what. When you like yourself, not because of what you have, but because of what you do and how you think, you become unstoppable. Think about this. A man who believes in himself doesn't need to prove anything. He doesn't beg for attention or try too hard. He just is. Calm, steady, and full of purpose. That kind of confidence, it shines like a beacon. Women see it, they feel it, and they are drawn to it like moths to a flame. But here's the catch. You can't fake this. You have to earn it by mastering yourself. Master your emotions. Master your time. Master your purpose. And when you do, you're not just a man who's attractive. You're a man who's powerful, free, peaceful. Now go live that life, because when you put you first, the world will chase after you. That's the last secret. And that's why 90% of men fail this test. But you're ready to be irresistible.